Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes. Um, we're back on here, ready for the next week. Everybody have a good weekend? I hope so. Mine wasn't too bad. So yeah, hopefully y'all had a good weekend and whatnot, ready for Monday. Mondays. I know what you mean. I know how you feel. But yeah, we're back on here, back on our modded playthrough. And if you'd like to know what those mods are, the mods list is down in the description section of the video, along with a link to Satisfactory Mod Manager, so you can download and install mods for yourself. Yes. Okay, with that out of the way, the first thing I'd like to do is thank and welcome the new subscribers we had gotten over the last week and over the weekend. Yes, hello there and welcome. And thank you. All right. So moving right along here. If you remember last episode, we were starting to get some raw resources up here to the steel factory, and that's what we were working on. We're gonna go show some stuff off, but just some stuff I worked on over the weekend. I didn't have a whole lot of time, so I wasn't able to do I was able to do very little. So that's just one of them things. But one of the things that I had done was I finished off the roof for the power station on the fuel generators one. Had some extra time and thought, you know what, I might as well finish that. We're driving up the sidewalk here. Whoa, hello there. That's how physics works. I understand. I just got crushed. Well, I wanted to show that off just real quick. It turned into it. Not so real quick. It's very laggy around here. There's a lot of machines going on. We're actually still doing pretty good for power, so that's nice. But we are starting to need over half of our fuel generators now, so yeah, there is that. Right, can I get by here, please? Please. Thank you. Please and thank you. Meep. Just had to make sure everything's working. Every now and again I'll have a little bit of lag for my PC and I gotta check and make sure that OBS is still working. Because recording software, I don't know if you know this, but if your PC lags enough, most recording software will stop recording in order to not damage the recording. Which is unfortunate because that does happen sometimes. But yeah, like I said, I finished the roof. I thought this looked pretty good. I put these little blocks here. I was looking at this really closely, and you know what these are on the top here, right below the top of the pipe? Those are mufflers. Those are very large mufflers, which makes sense. I mean, you've got 4 V6s all going to 4 exhaust pipes for very large V6s. You know what I think would be really cool as well, since half the machinery and the vehicles a lot of the time and stuff like that, they sound like they're all diesel. Like these fuel generators, they sound diesel to me. They don't sound gasoline generators, electricity generators. They sound like they're diesel. So I think what should happen... Oh, the leaf tracks on the roof. I think what should happen is it'd be really cool. There's probably a mod out for it. I just missed it. I don't usually look for mods these days because, you know, I got enough running. Once I don't need any more mods for right now, anyway. Maybe next season or something. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, there should be a diesel fuel that you turn crude oil into. I don't exactly know how diesels are made, or how diesel fuel is made, or fuel for that matter. I don't know how gasoline is made either, really. I know it comes from oil, that's about all I know. Anyway, I do need to get rid of this. So that brings us to our other thing right over here, which is, you remember how we were short on stators? Well, we now have the stators. We have 2 floors of 10 machines each floor, and now we're producing, let's see, we're producing 100 stators per minute. We needed, was it 72.5? Now we're producing 100, so I did have to add an extra floor to the wire tower, so now there's 5 floors to making wire. There was 4, so yeah, makes sense. And the reason we needed all them stators is because we have 6 machines over here inside this building making motors, and those are 10. They need 10 stators apiece, so that's 60 stators a minute is what we need to run this 100% efficiently. About to autosave lag here. Just 1 second and freeze. Yeah. I love my autosave lags, man. I hate them too at the same time. They are quite annoying. But yeah, so, and I did balance out the, like I said, I balanced out the wire. Steel pipe is out because we're not producing steel at the current moment. So yeah, let's go back to the steel plant, where we need to be. Yeah, if you guys remember, we had hooked up all the iron. Well, I finished hooking up all the coal. It was a bit of a mess, and bonus, right underneath this road I'm driving on, I believe. We drive over here. There's a little miner. Oh, jeez. Almost drove off the edge. There's a little miner there. So yeah, my game. This is not a pure node. This is a normal node. I had miscalculated that. But anyway, so hopefully, sorry about that. Hopefully, we should have enough coal coming in with that. And I've got another normal node. I can't see it from here. Nope, can't see it from here. Don't drive forward. Now these are just belted over to the steel mill. The reason I didn't do a train, because this is, I'm going to claim this is the exception to the rule. You know how we said anything relatively over 500 meters needs a train in order to transport, as far as the raw resources go. Well, I'm making an exception to the rule that if it's only one node and it isn't that far, then there's no reason to put a train station down. Because the train stations, if you remember, the train stations at a minimum have to be 5 cars long. They have to be 5 cars long at a minimum. So having 5-car, big old massive train station for one coal node, and there's no other coal nodes within 500 meters of that train station, there was no reason to. I made an exception to the rule over the weekend. It's the same with another node as well. There's another. I can actually pinpoint it here. Let's see. The bridge is right about here. Yeah, the node is right about here. So I belted it from here underneath the bridge all the way down to here. Yes, that's a long distance, but again, it's only one node, and nowhere within almost 1,000 meters is there another coal node. So decided that those can be the exception. Is when there's only one node and there's nothing else anywhere close to it that needs to be gathered or anything like that. There's no reason to have a train. That's way too much. That's way too excessive. I know I like to go excessive sometimes, but that is way too excessive. Why is this glitching? A lot of them are doing it. That one, that one. Must be the texture. Anyway, so let's I forgot. Don't need to be down here. So I do have a ladder. There you are. To go down here real quick. Of course, I didn't use the ladder at all. And let's hop on in here. So this is the train station. This is the train station that was already placed. Like I said, this is going to be reworked to go onto that circuit. I did manage to find a way to get the tracks hooked up. There's actually this looks like a mess, but it's actually works fairly well, to be honest. And all this is all Fix-It approved rail. I've swapped it over to Fix-It approved rail, so that if indefinitely when that mod does fail, that we won't lose anything other than the trains themselves. Speaking of which, I was hoping the coal train would be by. I only got one coal train for right now. I was gonna do two. I know we did kind of plan on that, to possibly have two coal trains, but there's a problem with that. And the problem is the one coal train causes so much havoc between the oil trains. It stops the oil trains from doing their rounds as efficiently as they should be. So what ends up happening is the oil trains have to stop and wait for the coal train to get through. Unfortunately, so I just went ahead and just say to do the one for now, and we'll see how it works out. But anyway, over to transport, over to progressive trains. There it is, block symbol. So this actually is made up of two different intersections. So that one intersection, because that train never comes up this way. So, if that other train comes in, or if any one of these two trains, or this train, that train, or the coal train here, goes into this intersection, it's going to block that other train from leaving. So I decided, we'll turn it into two intersections. And then this one it's never going to get used. So, but yeah, two different intersections. That way, that train can just keep going, and the other train, the coal train, comes up this rail here, and then moves this way and goes down this way, and then it comes up and rejoins over here. And it does go through the limestone factory. The limestone thing, so, and this has all been sorted out as well. Still waiting for the coal train B1. I labeled it B1 because this is the secondary, or not secondary. This is the second coal line that we're going to be running a coal train on. So what I decided to do there was name it coal train B1, because I was initially having two trains on there, and we'll leave it named that, and if we do decide we need another one, then we can go ahead and leave that. And that's also why that other train you see went into that intersection, but it doesn't block this train from leaving. Still waiting for B1 to get here. Come on, man. We need to go out there, because like I said, I did get it completed, and whatnot. We need to go and see that. There you are. We'll just go ahead and hop on. I'm still using the progressive trains mod with these progressive trains, so that these trains, I think their max speed is like 80 kilometers, or is it? Is it 40 or 80? I can't remember. It's one of them too. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take a little scenic route. Now we're at coal station B. So basically, because there's two coal stations, one for the coal power plants, and one for the steel. Obviously, we're not going to unload because, well, we're full up here. But yeah, so all these belts are all connected, and what's not. So no big deal there. like I said, hopefully, oop, don't look out there. And obviously, of course, the coal's not going to move for right now. We just sneak underneath that. Just barely, but yeah, we clear it. It's awesome. But yeah, I did finish this tunnel all the way out to the bridge. We just have a couple of holes where, you know, I need to walk through there every now and again. Yeah, the 70 kilometers? Is that the max? No, it's got to be 80. Yep, tunnel is finished. It's a little bit tight at times, but... And that power is needed, by the way. Yep, we do need that power running along the ceiling there. Because it goes out to... goes out to that miner out here, which we will see very, very shortly. Yeah, there's a miner. We're just about to go over the top of it. You can see on the left side of the screen there with the freeze. So perfect timing. Freeze frame. Freeze frame. Yeah, and it goes all the way up there. Yep. So I finished it all the way through. I actually want that open down there, so that's why. So, yep. Now we got our coal train running along here. Yeah, it's 89 kilometers an hour is the max, but the train's kind of speeding it up. This one don't care. It's like, I'm going to go as fast as I want. I don't care about your speed limits. What the hell? Beautiful. I love it out this way. This way is so cool, even though it's toxic, of course. It's got toxic views. Ha ha ha. I'd imagine the air down here is pretty toxic when you get below this line here. Just because all the, you know, mushrooms, fungus, all that stuff. And it works. Down we go. Camera's not too great. I wish there was a first-person cam. That'd be nice. Even if it had like even if it just had this simplistic like train little panel that just had a speedometer on it, and maybe a little engine brake that flops down when the brake gets pressed, or not an engine brake, a little, you know, I guess in the trucking world it'd be called a Jake brake, but or a trailer brake. Sorry, it'd be called a trailer brake, but just a handle. So that does beg the question, and thinking about brakes, immediately distracted. But thinking about brakes, yeah. So since this train uses air brakes, do you need a Class A, a CDL Class A in order to drive it? Well, I mean that. It's obvious just because of the weight, but because it also has air brakes too, that's like a very special thing. Now see, if we had beat that oil train, that oil train would be waiting for us. And that's why I said one train's probably enough, because it's enough of a disruption in the train line. Don't want to catch up to that other train, so see how the trains kind of have to brake between sections sometimes when they've got another train in front of them. Okay, block section cleared. It'd be nice to like trains could use an alternate logic of that they know where all the other trains are that are on that network, and if they get too close, they know to slow down, rather than just having a simple block section system. You could also have trains have their own logic where they look at the block section coming up and they go, okay, that train is this far down the block. I can safely go into that block. I don't know. That's just one of the things. Nice little scenic tour though of this new tunnel we've got built in. So once you're inside the tunnel, you can't even tell. Like where the ground is and whatnot. So pretty good. And that's what I want. I want these types of tunnels existing where these trains go in. You know, they're like subway trains. We're like underneath the city. That was my whole goal for this entire thing. Which is fairly nice. Alright. Pretty darn cool, though. I mean, it's a little bit of a mess of a network, but it works. It works fairly well. And whatnot. And now we're at the coal station, baby. Okay, off we go. Now, back to work. But, yep, so that's pretty much what I got done over the weekend. Was I got this train up and running. I got all 4 coal nodes where that train station is. I got all 4 coal nodes connected to it and overclocked. So we're bringing in, I think it's 1,500 coal per minute. And then we've got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2100. So we're not quite there. We need 2,400 per minute, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to make it happen. So we'll see. We'll see how it balances out. If I need to bring in more coal, there is a bit of extra coal coming in to the coal generator's power station that I could use as well. We can use that. We could belt over some extra if we need. But anyway, so on to what we're supposed to be doing today. Like halfway through the video. We need to figure out how we're going to mark this all up. Okay. So basically we're going to need a splitter for each one of these, obviously. A splitter going both directions. I believe we can go up to 4, is it? Because it's like 450. And 480 is the max of the belt. So you definitely want the belts at max if you can. But yeah, like I said, it might be a bit of a mess to figure out, but once we get going, it should be fine. And what's not. So there's going to be a lot of belts going a lot of different directions underneath here. It might become very, very messy. There's not much room to maneuver. I didn't really give myself enough room, but meh. We'll figure it out, right? Okay. Oh, we also need resources too. So that's the one thing I did forget to do. I should have done it. As you can see here, we're very, very low on resources. We're very, very low on iron plates and iron rods. I was just messing with wire, so that's why I have a full stack of wire. We got a little over 2.5 stacks of cable. The plates are fine. It's the rods that I need. Okay, what are we gonna need? We should be making everything, but yeah, we're gonna need wire and iron plates for that, and iron plates and rods for that. Okay. Oh, we are very, very low on encased industrial beams. I don't think. Yeah, we have very little in here. And whatnot. So we got some more quick wire in there. That's good. It should be all we need, because this is going to take a little bit to set up. So Alright, let's go grab some rods. Gotta get this, we're gonna try and get this steel up and running today, or at least get it making steel. We don't have to get the steel pipes or the steel beams today, but we can take care of that tomorrow. But yeah, we definitely need the rods. Rods is the biggest deal right now. Okay. Take a whole floor of rods. It'd be nice if you could shift right click and take out the resources, like the rods. Like I could shift right click and it just give me the rods out of the machine rather than me having to open it. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be funny too if there's like, oh yeah, there is a thing for that. You just do this, and it's just like, what? I'm playing almost 1,200 hours of this game, and it's been there all along. That would be funny. Okay. Oh, right. And I've taken so long on a lot of these projects as well that yeah, see, there's still coal coming in from this side, so I could potentially use that still. Those two coal lines there, because they're just dead ending right before the steel plant. So, meh. Oh, I need to make this road the same width, don't I? I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. Now that we got our rods, that we needed. Oh, we needed encased industrial beams. Okay. Yeah, that should be good. Yeah, let's go get some encased industrial beams real quick. And we also got some more plots for more machinery. These would be construction or constructors, though. We could use this long block instead of splitting it up with the roads. We could use that straight long block for concrete powder. That could be a plot we could plan for concrete powdering, because we need a lot of concrete powder, even for one thing. Just one thing. The amount of concrete powder you need is insanity. You know, and for that, I think I'm going to have a very special project for that. Turning or concrete powder. What am I talking about? Copper powder. That's what I need. That's what I'm talking about is copper powder. Oops, I didn't go the right way. But copper powder. Specifically for making one of the end game items as well. So. Can I go over this? Yes. Yeah, hopefully the next update will fix this here. Because these tires are much bigger than that curve. I should be able to climb it with ease. Okay, more steel beams, please. Just take as much as we can carry, pretty much, and we'll put most of it in here. So we're going to need a lot of steel beams. Alright. I also came up with a really awesome idea that I want to do probably later in the week, maybe. And it'll be a... what it'll do is it'll be a... whatchamacallit? It'll be a project... that's a side project it's not necessary. We don't need to do it whatsoever. We can do fine without it, but I want to build it. I got inspired Because where I live, um, there's a very special tower that I want to replicate. I got inspired to build it, and I want to do that in my city somewhere. And it's going to be massive. It's going to be a big thing that's essentially going to have little to no use, but it's gonna stand out. It might be pretty cool to do. We'll just have to find a place to put it. That'll be on the list of projects that may or may not happen in the future. We shall see. Okay. So first thing we're going to know is iron is going to be the first one because we need to be right here. We're going to be going down the middle with our splitters and mergers. So conveyor splitter. Okay, is this where I want it? Oh, we can't go down the middle because of where that lines up. Oh, interesting. Okay. That is interesting. What can I do to remedy this? Nothing. No. Oh. Yeah, there isn't anything I can do to remedy that. At least not really. Oof. Unless we put the coal on top and then put the iron further down, and then we can... Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let's do that one first then. So it's going to be there, and it's going to be there. Is that lined up? Yeah, that's lined up. Okay. How many was it? I don't remember. Was it 16? 32? Well, 16 splitters, anyway. I think it was 16 splitters. Oh, there we go. Just make sure we don't have any extras. It's like I couldn't remember. Okay, yeah, that looks good. I love the smart mod, by the way. It's one of my favorites. I use it all the time. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And now we do this. I'm gonna do it this way to start here. Or should we do it this way and then rotate the last one? Yeah, we should probably do it this way to get everything placed where it should be, and then we'll figure it out from there. Whatnot, no big deal. Yeah, see, I still have coal coming in from here, so if we need to use it, we will. I may end up using that at the very end. I think those are both going to be 450, so... because they're coming out of a station, kind of like all these. These are all coming out of a station, so they're all balanced at the max. 16. And then we also need to go up one, so the coal's going to be on the top. Just doing a good old manifold system, but this one's going to be a very big manifold system. That's why I gave plenty of room on either side to fix this in place. Just because there's going to be so much, and it's going to be very strange. I have some ideas on how I can hook this up properly, so hopefully we should be okay. And whatnot. The next thing I need to do before I finish doing this, because I need to figure out, let's see, logistics. We need to do floor holes. So I'm going to feed machines from below. As I usually like to do from above, but below is the only one that works in this case. Oh, they do have... Oh, so the hitbox is correct to the model. That's nice. I always like when they do that, when they build models of objects and stuff like that, and you can collide with those hitboxes, that the hitboxes match the object. Now, it doesn't have to match it to a T, but it definitely should match pretty damn well. Because it's always annoying when you run into stuff like that, where you got this awesome object, but you can't, like, like in a normal game, if these two were next to each other, right, I would not be able to go in between them. Not because the spacing's too small for the character, but because the hitbox doesn't match the model. Like an example would be, I go to put this power pole down, the hitbox it's this white outline, which is their clearance, object clearance thing. This little hitbox here, the hitbox would extend out, maybe not that far, but it definitely would extend out all the way to here, and you wouldn't be able to get any closer to it or walk between them or like that. A lot of games do that because it's a way to cut corners, because most people don't think about that type of stuff, which I totally understand, especially with autosave lag. But just shoehorn that in. We could do this even closer. Oh, the coal is going to be very interesting. How are we gonna do that? I can totally understand cutting corners and whatnot so that you can get things done faster, but sometimes those little tiny details make all the difference, especially if your game focuses around those details in a way. Like racing games having the proper tire tread traction when you, or tire tread marks when you burn out, or when you lose traction. Having that burnout line, or that those skid marks, whatever they are, having those skid marks match the tires, or not match the tires, well, kind of, but having them exactly where the tires are, the same width and all that does matter. And it is strange how a lot of car games, I mean, you're usually going so fast you don't even notice, but those skid marks are usually pretty just universal to everything. Or like the sound of the vehicle, or and whatnot, or when you hit something. Like, it's always crazy that some games, that the car itself has a square hitbox, because that's easy to do. So it makes sense. Like I said, I understand it. I'm not saying that I don't understand why they don't do this, but it's like I totally get it. Sometimes in little details matter, man. They can make or break a game for a person. If I had the skills to make a video game, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd probably be doing a YouTube channel on me making my game. That's something that really it probably has been done, but it hasn't been done to the extent that it should be, I think. I think there should be some independent game developers out there, or ones that are like very small teams and stuff like that. Like that should, kind of post the process of making a video game. Not necessarily a how-to, but just like a progress video, of their project and stuff like that, of like the making process and whatnot. I mean, I guess I could understand why they don't do that, because they don't want to give away secrets and yada yada yada. It's just like, come on, man. That would be really, really cool. That's probably what I would end up doing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because my inherent want to be able to teach people about things as I experience them as well. I don't know. That's one of them things I just can't not do. Especially if I learn something new. I want to share it with the world, man. People will be like, yeah, we know, we've known about that for years. I don't know why you haven't, why you're just discovering it now. It's just like, yeah, well, still like to tell you about it because, you know, somebody out there might not know. Or like if I'm having, if I have somebody like build or helping me like build an engine or whatever, and I've had this happen a few times, and the person knows who they are as well. One of my good friends, when we were working on motors together, we wouldn't just work on the motor together. He didn't know anything about engines hardly, so I was teaching him about it. And I'm not saying that I did an amazing job or nothing. Who knows? And it wasn't intentional either. It's just one of the things. It's just like, you know, I wanted him to know about this stuff. Even though, yes, he was helping me, he could have just been, you know, getting me tools. But instead, I made him involved in the actual rebuilding process. I mean, he should have been. He was supposed to be involved anyway, because it was his vehicle. But it was his engine we were rebuilding. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's annoying to some people. Just like, I don't want to be involved. Why are you trying to involve me in this? I don't know. It's crazy. Crazy thing. Yeah, basically like this, but it's not going to work for up there. I guess we'll just have to deal with it and hope for the best. Something like that. Yeah, I did have a video game in mind that I did want to make, because I was a car guy, and this video game has actually already been made, unfortunately. Actually, it's been made by a few different games that are like this now. I wanted a racing game that was very open world, and somewhat like Forza, I guess you could say. But I wanted it to be one that you could, you know, anything that would involve a vehicle, you could do pretty much. You could be, you know, you could be just a regular person doing like a delivery job, or a bit like Motor Town, I guess you could say. If you guys see me play that, or if you know about Motor Town. Very, very small development team. I think there's like 3 people working on it at the max, and a lot of them don't have, you know, years and years and years and years and years of experience working on games, you know, developing games. So they're still learning themselves, but yeah, it's just like, oh, you could do delivery jobs, or you could be a race car driver. Basically anything that involved a car as a job, you could do it. And that would be the extent of it. Anything that involved a vehicle with wheels, you could do it. And then Motor Town came out. I like Motor Town, but there's a lot of inherent problems that I have with the game. Or not a lot anymore, but there's definitely some problems I do have with the game. It does irritate me. Like not being able to do races in the open world. That annoys me. Like I want to be able to drive my car, you know, down the road, my race car, and then, you know, go to the little marker and join a race. I think that'd be really cool. But no, in that game you actually have to go back to the main menu and actually start a race if you want to do racing. So you can't you can't be in a multiplayer game and then go and do a race. You guys would have to both leave the game. You would have to leave the game and then invite your friends to the race itself. But it's not like you can go race while they're doing other things. That's one of the problems I have with it. The other problem was the police side of it. The way the payment system for the police cars is horrendous. It's like, oh well, you gain money per ticket, but it's not really worth it half the time because it's very, very little money no matter how much work you put in. And the game decides when there's going to be a person to chase down. And it's not on a timer or anything like that. It's just complete. Well, I mean, I guess it is kind of on a timer, but it is just completely and utterly random. And it's actually kind of annoying to deal with. Anyway. Okay, so there's all of those. Now we just got to figure out how we're going to belt everything up. And whatnot. And I think the upper section is coal, the lower section is iron. So we're going to work on that. Okay, how are we gonna do this? Coal is going to be a problem, I think, a little bit. But we can also stack belts too, so we can figure out how to do this system. Now I know that 4 machines per belt is the max we can do. I do know that part. So basically what's going to have to happen is, let's say this iron belt goes this way. And then this one goes this way, right? But here comes the problem with this. The inherent problem is getting a belt over to it. Okay, so the iron goes up there. And then the iron goes up there. So basically we got to turn all of our belts outside of this in order to make this work. So basically, this. But at a point, we're not going to be able to turn the belts anymore. There's going to be a point where it's not going to allow us. Just because of how close everything had to be. But I needed a buffer. 1, 2. So that's that belt, and then this belt, yeah. Unfortunately, we could, no, can't turn all the belts to one side. I was thinking about that, and I was just like, no, can't really do that either. So how are we going to get all of these belts around this system? That it could possibly be that we turn all the belts to one side. It is possible. Like put all the iron belts on this side and all the coal belts on the other side, and then nothing gets in each other's way, really. Now, there might be a bunch of clipping going going to happen here. Ugh. It's not going to be pretty, I can tell you that. I did say it was going to get messy. do 3. It's just like, yeah, unfortunately. Okay. It's just not going to work. We'll just do it this way. Just to allow room. Like that. And I'll do 3 on the other side. Because this one's going to... That one can go there. We can take this one. That. That. Like that. It's gonna be a lot of clipping. I really can't do it. Just can't do a whole lot about it. Anyway. Okay. I guess we'll just start hooking this stuff up, huh? Go backwards with it. Work our way from one side to the other. Because we know these are going to be absolute. I know where these are going. And I'm completely fine with it. This is not going to change. Yeah, I guess that'd be one of my little dreams there, would be to actually develop a decent game that would a decent car game that would take off. 'Cause there's not a whole lot of car games out there that do take off, you know, in a major way, other than like Gran Turismo and Forza. It's about the two major. They're the two major ones that really took off. The only problem I have with Forza is their deal with Microsoft makes them make decisions that I don't think they would otherwise normally make, because they're in a locking contract for many years. You know, I'm pretty sure in that contract it does say Microsoft gets to decide certain elements of the game. You know, so there's and I won't go into it too much, but there is some politics surrounding Forza right now. I mean, there has been for a while, but it's really bad this time. And it's like they got into some politics, and a lot of people are getting turned off by it. I mean, they've been getting turned off by it since probably 3 to 4. Forza Horizon 4 was actually pretty damn good. Yeah, sure, it had some politics around it and stuff like that, but some real politics around it. But it wasn't all that bad. Like you could definitely be irritated, but then just move on. And this new one, like they're very from what people have said online, and I'm just going off of what they say online, what I've read in countless like comments and stuff like that on the state of Forza Horizon 5, is they're more into punishing people politically, or any kind of dissenting opinions, anything like that, that they don't like. But there's countless cheaters online. Like there's I've seen pictures of it where leaderboards. I mean, it would happen in Forza Horizon 4 too, but it's actually they say it's even worse this time. But they're just punishing people with either political viewpoints or anything that they do that if Microsoft doesn't agree with it, then you're gonna get yourself a ban pretty easily too. It's pretty easy to do, which is fine. And also, obviously people themselves should leave politics out of the game as well. But it's just one of them things that just it's a card game. Nobody really cares truly about the stuff that they think people care about. But since you brought politics into it, everybody else brings their own politics in, and then there's a problem and all that stuff. It's like, oh yeah, it's really cool. You support what you want to support, what you believe in, and stuff like that. But it's like, please leave that out of the game. But yeah, like I said, then there's pictures of leaderboards where people are posting for races and stuff like that, or for track lap times. And they're posting, like 0.01 seconds and stuff like that, and there's people that are there's people that they're on a whole bunch of leaderboards all throughout Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 5, all that stuff. They're clearly cheating, but not getting banned because they're more focused on banning people with slightly offensive vehicle skins or whatever. I mean, in my honest opinion, you probably shouldn't be. You shouldn't be doing that. Putting super offensive stuff on cars, but at the same time, people don't have to look at that. If they truly do want to not look at that type of stuff, they can not look at it. It is something that is in their power. That's a whole discussion. I'm just gonna leave it at that, and whatever you think is whatever you think. Anyway, I don't know why. Oh, I brought that up because I was talking about car games. I was gonna say, I don't know why I brought that up. Oh yeah, I brought that up because of car games. Or I brought up Forza because of car games. I don't know. That's just one of them things. It's like I don't care what side of the political agenda you're on or what you believe in. Whatever your beliefs, that's fine. Just leave it out of video games. That's my only thing. If you leave politics out of video games, everybody's happy. At least they should be. They should be happy that politics are not in their video game. But it happens all the time. So all different manner of companies and stuff like that, especially if they sign deals with big companies. They're putting themselves in that kind of position. Also, I did this wrong. It should be this one, and then this one, and then there should be a gap. Yeah. We've already done this side, so it'll be this side. Yeah, and this needs moved as well. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Should be much better. Yep, I'm getting off of that subject. That's not fun. It's not fun to talk about. Like, I want video games to do well. It's just, man, sucks. Sometimes sucks in the video game industry. Oh yeah, I want to put mergers on this. I remember now. Okay. So yeah, I do want that, but we do need to put a merger here. think if we do... I don't know why it's not lining up with anything. Like, yeah, we gotta... It's really hard. And I can't connect that like that. I have to do it like this. Okay. 1, 2, and in she goes. Okay, so that one will feed that one, and it'll continue down the line. So if when this line gets full, it'll send its extra iron to combine with this iron line to then, you know, basically move on, and we'll keep up with that, and that should be pretty darn good there. So we're just we're just gonna connect all of these. That's just how it has to be. You know, there is, I'm going back to this, there is a type of politics that should stay in video games, I think. There's a type of politics that should stay in the video game world, and in video games themselves, and that's video game politics. You know, talking about video games themselves. Because there is a thing around that, so maybe that should be... Why did I put that? Why did I put that there? What am I doing? Look, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's not being done. Yeah, that's definitely my, and it's opinion, yes. It's definitely my opinion, definitely. Real world politics, if it doesn't involve video games itself, then it should stay out of video games. That's my opinion. There should be no reason that real world politics should be leaking into the video game world. I guess unless that video game particularly, like, it revolves around politics, around real world politics, then that's different. But when it's a racing game, an open world racing game, and it's just like, oh yeah, let's inject politics into this. That's fun. That's what people want to hear about while they're racing their cars around an open world, is politics. And you start to see the ridiculousness of it when you start thinking about it. Just like, why? And here I am talking about it again. Anyway. This is crazy, huh? I guess I'm just talking about that stuff just because I'm bored here. Not bored, but it's boring, I should say. What I'm doing is boring, so it's repetitive. Or should we not? Should we just keep them straight? Maybe. Instead of, you know, moving over slightly every so often. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. Then we'll go to logistics. Oh, and feel free to comment below if you have an opinion or want to weigh in on this subject. Even if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Because the way this channel is run is all comments are welcome as long as they don't break any U.S. laws, I should say. You know, like calling for the death of somebody. This is a little bit different. You probably shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, just about anything else. I don't get enough comments these days. Or any day, I should say. Yeah, any day. Oops. Okay. It's actually working out quite well, I think. And then that goes in there. There we go. It was a little bit of a mess at the beginning, but it's actually not doing too bad. Right here. Oh, we're an hour over? Ah, crap. Well, it looks like we'll have to continue this next time, huh? And what's not. Anyway. Crap. Yeah, and I don't have any time at all, so I'm going to be working on that truck project this week. Hopefully, anyway. As long as a certain somebody finishes my radiator. I got a problem with my radiator, and I needed it pressure checked by a professional because I don't have the tools to do so. Because normal pressure checks to completely check if a radiator is good usually requires some machinery. Like you can pressure check it at home if you have a few little things, but it doesn't check it completely. Basically, it's not a official check. So I had a family member of mine. They own an auto mechanic shop, and they have the proper testing equipment for testing radiators for leaks and pressure, like proper pressure checks, where it actually you hook the radiator up to this thing, and it puts pressure inside the radiator with coolant and stuff like that, and it pressure checks the entire radiator to make sure everything's solid and whatnot. And I'm waiting for that to be done. They're currently busy with other things, so I've been waiting a while. But anyway, sorry about all the politics talk. Don't know why it came up, but it's video game stuff, so it's really kind of related. Anyway, but that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So, again, hopefully you guys all had a good weekend and whatnot. I really do wish you the best. To what's not. So that is going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed at any rate, and until next time, which is going to be tomorrow, of course, I guess it's a goodbye.